Hello, beautiful people. It's Amy Nicholas back with a special live. It is Friday, and as I've stated, I'm doing Mondays and Fridays live streams, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, teaching you how to manifest your dream life, your ultimate freedom business, more money in your life, more happiness, all that good stuff, health, whatever it is you're looking to attract. Let me just make sure I can share this video. Yes, there I am. Share this to my page. There we go. Good, good, good. If you haven't joined my Facebook group and you're an entrepreneur looking to create the ultimate business freedom lifestyle like I'm doing, basically work half as much, make more money. That's kind of what the group is about. And creating your ultimate just freedom that you want to have as an entrepreneur. I think it's different for everybody. So yeah, come join us in the Facebook group. I've also got a free cheat sheet down below. If you are struggling, learning this law of attraction stuff, learning how to manifest things in your life that are good, not manifest more of what you don't want, but manifest what you do want. Encourage you to grab the cheat sheet. It's called Unblock Your Manifestation Muscle, 5 Secrets to Living Your Dream Business Lifestyle. So you can grab that down below, free. And I think there was one other place I was going to share. No, I shared it to my page. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I was going to grab the book off the shelf and I forgot, but we're talking about the missing secret from The Secret. Okay, so I'm talking about the book and the movie, which I have seen the movie and I've read the book a couple of times. This was put out in 2006. Rhonda Byrne, she wrote actually several books. And I wanted to kind of share my thoughts about what I've learned in my own studies and how I think there's things missing. And actually from my own studies, I found out things were intentionally left out of the book and the movie. So I'll share with you guys some interesting stories about that. Hey, Smooth and Chunky, welcome to the show. Let me know if the connection is weak or anything, because sometimes the little Wi-Fi signal comes on. And I think that means that StreamYard is struggling, but should be good. Should be good connection. So we're just going to expect the best here. So little backstory on The Secret. If you don't know, that was like the first movie that was ever broadcast on the internet as, hey, here's a movie going live on the internet. So this is 2006. So that was kind of like, whoa, big deal back then. And from what I've learned about how the movie was put together, Rhonda Byrne, she was struggling. She was a filmmaker. She was in debt. Okay, cool. Thank you. You can hear and see. Okay, cool. She was struggling. She was in debt. She was like, I got to make money. And she had come across the book. This is a different book called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. That book was written in 1909, by the way. Hey, Robert. Okay, Smooth. Thank you. So if you haven't read that book, let me type it in the chat here. Very awesome, powerful book. Bob Proctor actually teaches whole seminars on it. And I'll put the author name in here too. So The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. Super old book, super short, super easy to read. And so she took that book and a bunch of other books she has studied and she put together the movie The Secret. And she basically was like, I'm going to go around the world. I'm going to personally interview these prosperity thinking teachers, these people that understand the laws of attraction, understand how to manifest things in their life and are teaching other people. So she went out and got, Bob Proctor, John Assaraf, John DeMartini, Jack Canfield, Lisa Nichols, like a whole bunch of people you may or may not have heard, Dr. Joe Vitale. She got all these people interviewed, put their stuff in the movie, in the book. Now there was at least one person that she interviewed that did not make the cut. And this is what I thought was really interesting. So she went to a seminar being held on a cruise If you've ever heard of the teachings of Abraham Hicks, Esther Hicks, she teaches this, I don't know how to describe it, but she calls it the teachings of Abraham, like as if Abraham's talking through her. And she had been teaching that for a long time, long before Rhonda Byrne actually created the movie. So Rhonda Byrne went to her seminar, recorded a bunch of stuff that she was speaking, and documented a bunch of things, and said, initially that she was going to have this in her movie. Well, she comes back later. Rhonda Byrne comes back later and tells Esther Hicks that, we're not going to include certain things that you said. And something about the word vibration was involved in that. And if you read the book, The Secret, which I encourage you to read it, it's slightly different than the movie because there's more of Rhonda, talking and her text alongside the other authors or the other speakers. I literally saw that word mentioned, the vibration, twice in the whole book. And that is one of the big problems why people didn't understand The Secret and didn't use it to apply for actual success, lasting success in their life. They may have watched the movie or something, gotten inspired, and then been like, this isn't really working for me, And a lot of people just chucked it, said, well, that's just a fad, it didn't really work. Well, I believe the problem is there was not enough emphasis on the word vibration. And for whatever reason, I don't know why, I would love to talk to Rhonda Byrne in person one day. I love her books and her content, amazing stuff. I do not understand or know why she left the word vibration out of the text where she was supposed to be quoting verbatim, what people were saying. And so she basically told Esther Hicks, who had used this word over and over, that she was going to cut the entire thing. And she was kind of pissed about it because, here she had come onto their cruise and had gotten to listen in on their seminar and was going to, do all this work with them to get all this content, and then said, I'm not going to use any of it because they wouldn't take the word vibration out of it. And like I said, I don't know why Rhonda's made that decision, but I heard Esther Hicks herself say that. So that's why I'm telling you that is one of the things that was missing from the movie The Secret. Now, why is that important? Why should you even care? Well, The Secret focuses heavily on teaching people how their thoughts create their reality, okay? The funny part is that is only one side of the coin. Because can you think of a time in your life where you were thinking about something and you were like, hey, I think about this thing happening all the time and it's never happened, right? I really want this thing to happen. I think about it all the time. It's just not happening for me. I've been thinking about it for years, a decade's gone by, whatever it is. And you're like, well, that just proves The Secret is crap, right? No, she didn't share enough about the vibration that people are in, that they're holding. We're all masses of energy. Like our body is a physical mass of energy. And if you go into the history books, you look up Edison, you look up Einstein, and you read their theories on how humans connect and how our energy affects our world. Vibration was very key to that. Nikola Tesla, he also did a lot of research on this. So we have like a brain that is a receiving station and a transmitting station. And when you're thinking about something that you want, okay, but the vibration, the transmission that you're sending out is, well, I don't have it. I don't know when I'm going to have it. Like let's say you want to quit your job. Let's say you are working a day job, but you're like, I want to be an entrepreneur, right? I want to be an entrepreneur. That's my goal. Like, that's what I want, right? But when you think about it, internally, you are sending out a vibration of, I'm not there yet. I don't have it. I haven't quit my job yet. I don't know when this is going to happen. Am I ever going to be able to do this? Gosh, I hate my boss. I can't wait to leave this stupid place, right? That's where a lot of people are. They're thinking in that state of mind. They want something, they're thinking about that, but their vibration, their inner like feelings about it, that would be another keyword here, feelings, is that of frustration, lack. I don't have it. I'm upset. Why isn't this working? And you're kind of in that disempowered state. You are nowhere near feeling like you have what you want. And that is what is missing from The Secret. You could be thinking positive thoughts. You could be, all day thinking about your goal, thinking. The problem is it's on this just this thought level. It's not addressing what actually shifts reality. What actually shifts reality is going to be the internal vibration. So, for example, what I did when I wanted to quit my job and I went from the state of frustration, annoyance, when can I take a day off? Oh, I'm ready to leave. I remember being in that situation, okay? This is about 2015. I said, I have to change how I feel about this situation or I will never get what I want. I recognized that I wasn't going to get what I wanted because I had seen a pattern of things not changing for a bit. It was like months would go by. I'm like, making a little bit more in my business, but not enough to quit. Why isn't it working? And I said, hold it. Wait a minute. Something's off here. And I recognized that I had to feel good about what was going on in my life at that time. So I changed my perspective and I changed how I felt about having a job. I said, all right, I'm just going to be grateful that I have money coming in. I have a steady income. I have a decent job. I have benefits. I have money to invest into my side business. I can afford food and gas and things like that. And, that's all good. Everything is fine, right? I'm not destitute. I'm not living on the street. I started to turn what I thought was a desperate situation, because I'm like, dang, why can't I quit my job yet? Into being a grateful situation. And lo and behold, because I changed how I felt about it, I started to feel good. So I was like, okay, yeah, maybe like today I'm still working the day job. But I know that I know that I know, the better I can feel about this situation, the better I can feel inside, the closer it is to achieving my ultimate goal of being an entrepreneur. And sure enough, as sure as shoot, within 6 weeks or so, I quit my job. I actually waited a little bit longer because I was waiting for some income to come in and sort of just cover those initial bills that I would have right after my last paycheck. And so that all worked out. And in fact, it just felt like things were easier. Things flowed. I stopped worrying. I stopped being stressed about when am I going to quit my job. I just focused on feeling good about where I was, even though it wasn't what I wanted. This is key here. Whatever it is that you're going after, certain income goal per month, quitting your job, health, like that's a big priority. Or moving, maybe you want to move somewhere. If you continue to feel bad about not having your goal and you reside in that vibration all day, every day, even though you're thinking about the goal, hence The Secret, like think about your goal, that's not enough because how you feel and the vibration you are emitting is what is actually making things happen. And if you don't match up on that, you will never get what you want. If you do happen to get what you want, there might be a time where you were on the vibration and you got what you wanted. But if you weren't a steady match for that, you will see it quickly snatched from your life. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. You've got something in your life and you're like, this isn't what I wanted. I thought I wanted this, but it came out like this, right? Because you were not on the positive vibration of that goal. Okay. So if you have any questions, let me know. I know this is sort of out there kind of stuff. It's scientific and yet it's more on the metaphysics level. There's been studies of glasses of water that were frozen, and people would like emit a frequency, a vibration, thinking about the water, like sending thoughts of love. And the water would crystallize in a certain way. And they had other people in the test study thinking thoughts of hate and anger and jealousy and things like that. And it would crystallize in a totally different way. And the molecules themselves were literally different. Like, this is like real science, y'all. It's crazy. I don't focus too much on the science-y stuff. I just like to see the results, right? And if it focuses on feeling good and getting what you want and living your life of ease and flow and more money and peace, I'm all for that, But there are some people who are really interested in that scientific side of things. So any comments, y'all? Any thoughts about, did you see The Secret? Do you think that they left stuff out? I think very few people know that she cut the teachings of Abraham Hicks out of the Secret. I think very few people know that. I don't even remember. I just heard a random interview with Esther Hicks on that, and that's how I found out. But the fact that she cut out the word vibration, that it's only mentioned 2 times in The Secret, and one time it's mentioned it was by Bob Proctor, who definitely believes in vibration being the factor of you creating your reality and manifesting what you want. Rhonda had said it like one other time in the book, but it was so skipped over. In fact, I think it was towards the end of the book as she said something about it. And so you got all this content about The Secret and about, your thoughts become things and stuff like that. But we all know that that's not the full story. If your thoughts became things, there would be a lot of things happening in your life that you would be like, yeah, I didn't want that. I was thinking about that. I didn't really want that. Or how easy was that? There is also a time for you to match up to how you feel. There's a lot of people that want something, and if all you had to do is think about it, yeah, that'd be great, because that would be like way easier, right? Clearly that's not enough, because you can be thinking about stuff like, hey, like think about all the people that are like, I want to win the lottery. There's a lot of people thinking about winning the lottery, right? There's not very many people that are on the vibration of feeling as if they already won it. Like, that's the key too, is feeling good about where you're at. So much so, this is really important here. So much so that you feel like it doesn't even matter when it comes to you. Yeah. That's how you know you're on the right track. If there is something in your life that seems elusive, never gonna happen. Why isn't this manifested yet? Where's the money? Where's the sales? Why can't I quit my job yet? If there seems to be something that is consistently out of your grasp, the feeling has to change in you. You have to get to the point where you feel like it's already happened. And this is like being a kid again. When you're a kid, your imagination runs wild and you're like, anything is possible, unicorns and fairies and, all that stuff. And you don't question, right? Your imagination just runs wild. It's like you got to go back to that time, because when you're young and you're impressionable and your imagination is very active, you actually were a more powerful manifester of positive things in your life than you are now. Because as you get older, you start to look around and say, yeah, I'm disappointed because I didn't get this. Or I thought this was going to happen in my life and it didn't. And you start to see things happen and don't happen in your world, and you start to take on this limited way of thinking. But when you're young, you're open to possibilities, and you kind of have to become a kid like that again, and just totally immerse yourself in your goal to the point where it's like it's already happened. You already feel it, like it is done. Like, I have the money. I won the lottery. Like, it's done. Like, the people, when they go and interview the people that actually win, they will tell you like these elaborate stories that would play out in their head, of like cashing in the ticket, of the excitement. They're like screaming and they're holding the ticket up and running around telling everybody and jumping up and down. Like, they get what Bob Proctor calls emotionally involved, to the point where they convince themselves they've already won. Like, it's so key, because there's all these people, like I'm standing in the line at the gas station, just about every gas station I go to, because I live in the country, there's somebody buying lotto tickets. Do I think any of them is going to win? No. Because they walk in there with a broke mentality. Like it's their last resort to make some freaking money. Let's see, we got a comment from Dana here. I hope everybody can see. Sometimes Facebook doesn't show the comments, but I'll put it on the screen. Dana says, was not on the positive vibration of my goal for a long time. Although I wanted and needed a change, I was afraid of the change, losing my income if I lost my job. Well, since we made a lot of equity on our home, we decided to take that plunge, and we are having a new home built and we'll pay it in cash so I can now quit my job. Nice. And just focus on KDP and merge. Yeah. Thanks, Amy, for the words of encouragement to make positive changes. Wow. That's huge, Dana. So I'm just reading back what he said. When I need to change, I'm afraid of the change. Equity. Oh, okay. So you guys like sold your home and you were able to take that extra money and build your new home cash. That is great. Yeah. I mean, isn't it funny how the universe is like brings things to you in a way you could never have planned? And that's another key. I do this myself. I'm sure other people do it all the time, where you think that you have to plan how things are going to go. You have to like organize it, like, well, if this happens and I can do this and then I'll have the money for this. And if you were to let go of your expectation and you just focus on what you want, and you're just like, you know what? I don't know how it's going to happen, but it is done. Like Dana, like I'm sure she didn't think that that's the way things were going to go. I'm just going to guess, Dana, in your mind, you said you wanted to quit your job. So that was the goal. And you wanted to focus on just doing KDP and merch. I'm pretty sure you didn't know how that was going to play out, but you're glad that it did, especially because now you were able to get a new home built and pay for cash. Yeah. Quit the job. Like who plans that, right? The universe, God, infinite intelligence, not us. I mean, there's been many goals in my life that I've gotten, I've hit that I could never have pictured how that was going to go. Yeah, I would think in my mind, well, there's this possibility that this and this could happen, but really, I don't know, and then it could happen completely different. Now, there's sometimes where things happen similar to what, the way you thought it would. But I just think for the most part, if we're willing to let go of like being strict about our goals, well, it's got to come to me like this. And I got to make X amount of money by X date, which I think, having studied this stuff for like 7 years now, I think having a date attached to a goal is the wrong goal, because you don't know how long it takes for things to fall into place. And you don't know when the perfect time is going to be. Maybe your goal does not come to you right away because the timing would not be right. There is something that needs to happen before that, maybe something else, so that when it comes together, it's just perfect. And if we're willing to accept that, let it happen, let go of being in control of everything, it's going to happen better than we think. Trust me. Or trust yourself. Dana says, I wanted to quit my job for the longest time, but needed to put a plan in motion. The thought came overnight when I started thinking positive thoughts. Yeah. Well, and let me ask you this, Dana. Beyond Positive Thinking, which is a book, you were probably picturing this, right? You were thinking about it and you were visualizing, because that's another key component to bringing what you want to your situation faster, is visualizing. Now, it's one thing to just visualize. We all, think up pictures all day long, but I want to guess, this is my theory, that as you were thinking about what you wanted, you were visualizing and you were feeling really good about it, because you were picturing what would it be like, now that I've quit my job, what am I doing? How am I feeling? Is there like this big weight lifted off my shoulders? Do I feel free? Do I feel like I can go anywhere I want? I can take the vacation whenever I want. I can do whatever the heck I want, whenever I want. Don't got to ask nobody. Don't got to get no permission. See ya, boss. I'm thinking that you were in that state of feeling as you were visualizing. Yeah, it is awesome, Laura. I love, and thank you for sharing that, my encouragement, because I know you've been watching my lives for a while, Dana, and I'm really happy to hear that me coming on these live streams and sharing stuff with you and you were encouraged by that played a part in this, because I love that. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So guys, here's a case study, live case study right here, how this all plays out. Number one, Dana had a goal, which we all have a goal, even if the goal is, I just want to be happy. That could be a goal. It's helpful to be more specific. Dana wanted to quit her job and she wanted to focus on doing merch by Amazon, KDP, and she was, she just wanted to make a change, So that was her goal. She focused on it. She thought of what she wanted and she pictured what she wanted. And then she lived it out in her mind visually as to what that would feel like. Okay. So the key components here, and this is where the secret left a lot of people short. Thinking alone is not going to get you anywhere. Thinking plus visualizing plus feeling it gets you everything you want. Now, I'm sure there were times where Dana was like, is this going to happen? And you're going to feel that way at some point. Trust me, it's just how it is. Like, we are not perfect, beings that are able to just, boom, manifest whatever we want instantly. There will be times where you feel like, well, I know what I want, I'm visualizing, but I'm having trouble conjuring up that feeling of like it's already happened. Because maybe you just feel so far from it. There's two things going on there. One, it could be that your goal is a little bit outside your belief zone. So if you're trying to go from, say, making an extra $1,000 a month to making $10,000 a month, and you're like, I think about it, I visualize it, but I'm just not feeling it because you don't believe it. That could happen. And that's okay. You can dial it down a notch to where you feel like, okay, I can believe that. Maybe for some people, like if you had a similar goal like Dana did of wanting to quit your job, and you said, I want to quit my job in like 3 months. Maybe you don't believe that. But if you were like, well, if it takes me 6 months, if it takes me 8 months, I'm okay with that. And you just sort of like let it up to the universe to when things play out, right? I'm sure, like I said, she probably felt that there's something that was going to work out and it didn't at a certain time, but she kept the faith and she kept thinking about how it would feel. One thing that worked really well for me was I used to take walks every morning with my dogs in our old neighborhood. We lived in a neighborhood, now I live in the country, but I would walk around with my dogs in the morning before work, and I would sort of put myself in a different place mentally. I would picture myself walking them like it was 10 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock in the morning. And I was free. I was an entrepreneur and I was doing this at whatever time I wanted to. And it wasn't because I had to go to work, in half an hour or whatever it was. I would walk around the neighborhood acting as if I was already an entrepreneur. I was already doing my own stuff. I was free. And I did this for several months. And literally the day after I quit my job, and I'm walking the dogs in the neighborhood at whatever the freak time I wanted to, I don't even remember, I was like, this feels as natural as anything. Like I had lived it out so many times that it felt completely natural to me. And that's how you know when your goal is about to happen. When you get to the point of feeling like it's just easy peasy, like it's already done. Like, I know that it's done. I don't see the money in the bank yet. I don't have, the official I've quit my job story yet, but it's done. Like, I just feel it. I just know it. And you don't have to worry about the time. That's where most people get hung up. It's like, if you really truly believed that you were going to get what you wanted and you felt that, you wouldn't worry about the time. Because you would act like you already had it. If you already had it, you wouldn't be worried about the time, right? Dana says, I've been thinking of this, visualizing this for the last 5 years. Okay, didn't want to work for someone anymore. I wanted to go on vacation whenever I wanted. etc. The change in the housing market the last year due to the pandemic gave me the opportunity to achieve this goal. Yeah. And I'll bet too, because I'm just, totally trying to guess your life here, Dana. I will bet that you had a very, I'm going to say this, that your desire became imminently stronger in the last year. Perhaps due to what was going on in the world, your desire kicked up a notch and you were like, oh, like I really want to quit my job now, right? I would bet that happened. And I would bet that as the desire increased, so did your belief. So things kind of clicked together, right? Okay, yep, 100%. Yes. So in this case, there's plenty of people that looked at what happened last year and said, oh my gosh, this is bad. Oh my gosh, the world's going to hell in a handbasket, right? Like my dad visited us, and this is kind of like his wording. And they could only see the bad, right? Dana chose to take that time and see it for her good. And I applaud you for that, Dana, because a lot of people looked the other way and looked at only the bad and said, this is only going to be a bad thing. But if you follow the people that make things happen in their life for good, they look at what seems to be a big problem, big challenge, and they say, no, this is an opportunity. This is a chance. The rest of the world sees it one way. I'm going to see it this way. So yeah, turn a negative into a positive. Yeah. And, I like that I can be in a place to feel like I understand these situations better. When I first became an entrepreneur, I just didn't have enough experience utilizing this material. I had just sort of started learning it actually when I quit my job and I started studying Bob Proctor. But there was so many things that, and you're always learning, you're always studying, you're always understanding how this stuff works together. But like Dana agreed with me that not last year. Why did it take 5 years? Because 4 years she was thinking about it. She visualizing it, like she said, and the feeling wasn't quite matched up. When she got her feeling matched up to that the desire increased so much that her belief was there, she felt it. She's like, this is it. I'm going to quit my job. That's it, period. That's when it happened. And in the way that it happened, I love it because, not only did she get to quit her job, she got a bunch of other cool stuff too. She got a new house. She got to move. I mean, when my husband and I moved into our dream house, which we're in right now, I had some very specific things that I wanted for the house. I was like, I want an underground pool with a screen. I want land. I want to stay in Florida. I had, kind of an idea of bedrooms and size of the house and things like that. But what I didn't know was there was going to be all these extra benefits to what we were going to get. I ended up with like fruit trees. I talked about having like fruit trees when I was little. And I was like, oh, it's so great to have like fresh oranges and things like that. I have that. I didn't even know until we moved in here. We had a plum tree. I didn't even know. There was, when we moved in, we knew the property was fenced in, but I didn't know it had an electronic gate. I was like, oh, how cool is that? Like, I don't even have to get out of my vehicle to open the gate and just hit a button. So it was like little extras came along with the goal. And if you let the universe bring things to you, if you let go and let God, then you will find that your goal will come to you in a way that is perfect and beautiful. If, however, you come at your goal with with an energy that is like, gimme, I need this right now, it's going to be, it's like when two people get into a room and they're both like that driver personality and they just kind of clash, right? It's the energy clashes. So for example, I remember doing things in my business where I worked really hard and I was like, oh, I'm going to get this. Like, I got to get it. And I got it. But then either I didn't want it or it didn't last. Something negative about it, something that didn't fit, and feel good about it. or I ended up like, something would happen and that would come tumbling down. So realize that if you are willing and open to how things come to you, it's going to come better. Like, I'm sure Dana was like really happy that not only she got to quit her job, but she got a new house being built for her as well. Cash. I mean, I just love saying that. Cash. Like, that's kind of one of my new things too, is like, I want to pay for everything cash. So bravo. So yeah, guys, if you jumped on late, go back and watch the replay, because I gave some interesting information about The Secret and what was missing from the movie and the book and how that affects you achieving what you want, because it's very powerful stuff. And unfortunately, a lot of people got the watered down version. Now, I will say this about Rhonda Byrne, because I do love her content, that she did go and write other books. She wrote The Power, she wrote Hero, she wrote The Gift, and she has just recently come out this year with The Greatest Secret. Okay. So she wrote a bunch more books later that like nobody knows about unless you study her. But make sure if you're interested in this kind of stuff, you go check her out. Rewatch, thumbs it up if you liked it. If you want more information on this kind of stuff, and you want to learn how to manifest things in your life that you want, not that you don't want, because we're all masters of manifesting things we don't want, because that's generally the consensus of the world. It's like, oh, I got this other problem. Why do problems keep coming to me? Well, if you want more things that you want, goals coming to you, check out my cheat sheet down below. It's free. Unblock your manifestation muscle. I explained some techniques that are very powerful that work for me personally in that cheat sheet and can help you get what you want faster. Check out my Facebook group. And if you guys have any particular questions about manifestation, law of attraction, how to use these things for, business success, quitting your job, manifesting homes. Like, for instance, I've intentionally, and I say this as a tool now, I've intentionally used manifestation, law of attraction kind of stuff to manifest my dream home, multiple dream vehicles, motorcycles, our recreation vehicle, just certain events in my life, things that have happened, positive events, big and small. Like, it's all relative, really, like what's big, what's small. But there's no end to it, to using this stuff to better your life. So hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you back on Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern time. And make sure to follow me on Facebook and YouTube if you're not already. Take care. I'll see you then.